I'll rest later. Not a big deal. Come on, Bali, wake up. It's time for work. Meeting at 8, project at 10. Oh, no, not my coffee. Lavi, can we play later? I can't stop now. I'll rest later. Need to put in more shifts. Can we have this chat a bit later? Just keep pushing, Bali. It'll be... Whoa, that's a burnout. I'll rest later. Still think it's worth it? How about you take a break, join us this Friday at 3 p.m. and find out for yourself. We are women. We are brave, strong, capable, unique. We are women to women.
Good afternoon, South Africa. Believe it or not, I know spring started in 21st of September, but the weather in South Africa was a bit rocky. We didn't have what spring means to us. I'm sorry, I'm alone in this, and I took a little bit of selfishness talking about it today, because they like winter, the other one summer, but I love spring. So I thought of sharing with you, mostly who loves this season, some facts that you might not know about this precious season of the year. Last year, we spoke about seasons in your life, but I want to let you know a little bit and contemplate, not only knowledge, but contemplating what spring brings in our life.
It's finally springtime. Time for picnics, floral dresses, sun hats, and wear. Here are a few inches about spring that you may not even know. Did you know the first day of spring is marked by 12 hours of light and 12 hours of night? The Old English word for the season was Lent, but in the 15th century it was changed to springing time and then springtime. Nowadays, it's spring. Due to the abundance of light, water, warmth, and soil, trees, flowers, and plants start to grow. Birds understand that they need to mate due to the extended light. Many animals, like the deers who live on herbs, will deliver their babies in this season in order to have plenty of food to nourish their babies. Spring fever is a term applied to several sets of physical and psychological symptoms associated with the arrival of spring. Experts say the body's dynamic changes due to the different diets, hormone production, temperature, and increased light. Spring is often associated with rebirth, renewal, and regrowth. All the more reason to come out and enjoy this wonderful season of spring.
Even though it is spring, would you know that there are people that are burnt out? And that is our today's topic. It became very trendy to use the expression burning out and burnt out, but what people know very little is what it really means. The first definition, it is when someone is ill, affects his health because he has been working too much, more than what his body and his mind can cope with. The second definition is very interesting.
Yes, the second definition of burning out is someone who I even took my note here, on the verge of burnout, is likely to start feeling emotionally and mentally dragged, and they are not able to be part of simple things in life because they are being dragged emotionally.
And of course, that leads them to breakdown and stress. So when we were discussing about today's topic, we came to the conclusion that yes, physically it takes its toll, but emotionally it seems to be the sickness or the disease of the moment. I just selected here some of the symptoms of someone who is enduring burning out. So it comes with physical pain, nightmares and flashbacks, depression or anxiety, withdrawal, avoidance, repression, irritability, guilty and shame, and mood swings. Very serious, isn't that? So, if it is so dangerous, why this is happening to women today? And who knows, you on the other side of the screen is going through that.
One of the things that I saw, I think it's competition. Women have become very competitive nowadays in a sense of they want to be, I think, have their fingers in every single pot that there is to handle. And that is something that causes many of them to burn out because, as you said, it's not just physical, but emotional as well. And how do you have your fingers in every place? Our smart devices. Now, that is one thing that I have seen that can take you from being calm and relaxed into a panic frenzy. And as we said, anxiety, because when the moment she's supposed to be sitting down, maybe relaxing, spending time with family, there she is browsing through the internet, looking at what's happening in other people's lives through social media, social platforms, and even sometimes with family. And through you looking at that, you start seeing that, oh my goodness, so and so is doing well. They did this or they added this, they put this. And that person now starts being anxious and feeling as though what they're doing is not enough. And then they start saying, okay, no, instead of me relaxing and taking care of my health, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to look for something to do so that I can also post something. Because nowadays, there's a quote that I read that said, it's okay to disappear for a while and regroup and come back. But nowadays, people don't want to do that. So instead of being encouraged and maybe supporting your fellow mate that is doing well, we see them now getting competitive. Like, oh my goodness, she bought a new dress. Oh, she says she checks into this hotel. I have to do something. Why am I just sitting here and not doing anything? So that is something that is very emotional, and they don't realize that the smart devices are actually a trigger and a huge influence in their personal lives.
And I also think that while they try to compete, they compare themselves. And they think at the end of the day, why my audience is so demanding? And it is what we said before, you made them to be so demanding. So when you think about, if I'm not going to post anything, if I'm not going to say anything, you're going to be reminded that you're long gone and you don't allow yourself, even though if it is at the cost of your health, at the cost of your emotions.
I think as well, misdirected priorities. A lot of people do not know how to define the word priority. So they spread themselves too thin into every area, into everything that they can do, that they can find their hands to do. Like any work, anything they want to do, they will do because they don't know how to prioritize. They don't know what is important for them. And by doing that, you will definitely burn out because you won't know what it is that is important, because everything will be important and then you will want to give the same energy to everything, and that is impossible. As human beings, we have a limit. We can only give so much. So people need to know what their priorities are, so that at the top of the list, you know that I'm going to give my best in this and not in everything. There's a way that many people use. It's that they write down what is important, what are their priorities. So maybe if it's 25 priorities, you write everything down, and then from there they
But
check.
25 are not priorities.
Yes. So from there, that's yes. So what happens after is that they have to choose the top 5. What is it that they really need to do now, like the top 5, and then from the top 5 they choose one. So because
even though it is spring, would you know that there are people that are burned out? And that is our today's topic. It became very trendy to use the expression burning out and burnt out, but what people know very little is what it really means. The first definition it is when someone is ill, affects his health because he has been working too much, more than what his body and his mind can cope with. The second definition is very interesting.
Yes, the second definition of burning out is someone who I even took my note here, on the verge of burnout, is likely to start feeling emotionally and mentally dragged, and they are not able to be part of simple things in life because they are being dragged emotionally.
And of course, that leads them to breakdown and stress. So when we were discussing about today's topic, we came to the conclusion that yes, physically it takes its toll, but emotionally it seems to be the sickness or the disease of the moment. I just selected here some of the symptoms of someone who is enduring burning out. So it comes with physical pain, nightmares and flashbacks, depression or anxiety, withdrawal, avoidance, repression, irritability, guilty and shame, and mood swings. Very serious, isn't that? So, if it is so dangerous, why this is happening to women today? And who knows, you on the other side of the screen is going through that.
One of the things that I saw, I think it's competition. Women have become very competitive nowadays in a sense of they want to be, I think, have their fingers in every single pot that there is to handle. And that is something that causes many of them to burn out because, as you said, it's not just physical, but emotional as well. And how do you have your fingers in every place? Our smart devices. Now, that is one thing that I have seen that can take you from being calm and relaxed into a panic frenzy. And as we said, anxiety, because when the moment she's supposed to be sitting down, maybe relaxing, spending time with family, there she is browsing through the internet, looking at what's happening in other people's lives through social media, social platforms, and even sometimes with family. And through you looking at that, you start seeing that, oh my goodness, so and so is doing well. They did this or they added this, they put this. And that person now starts being anxious and feeling as though what they're doing is not enough. And then they start saying, okay, no, instead of me relaxing and taking care of my health, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to look for something to do so that I can also post something. Because nowadays, there's a quote that I read that said, it's okay to disappear for a while and regroup and come back. But nowadays, people don't want to do that. So instead of being encouraged and maybe supporting your fellow mate that is doing well, we see them now getting competitive. Like, oh my goodness, she bought a new dress. Oh, she says she checks into this hotel. I have to do something. Why am I just sitting here and not doing anything? So that is something that is very emotional, and they don't realize that the smart devices are actually a trigger and a huge influence in their personal lives.
And I also think that while they try to compete, they compare themselves. And they think at the end of the day, why my audience is so demanding? And it is what we said before, you made them to be so demanding. So when you think about, if I'm not going to post anything, if I'm not going to say anything, you're going to be reminded that you're long gone and you don't allow yourself, even though if it is at the cost of your health, at the cost of your emotions.
I think as well, misdirected priorities. A lot of people do not know how to define the word priority. So they spread themselves too thin into every area, into everything that they can do, that they can find their hands to do. Like any work, anything they want to do, they will do because they don't know how to prioritize. They don't know what is important for them. And by doing that, you will definitely burn out because you won't know what it is that is important, because everything will be important, and then you will want to give the same energy to everything, and that is impossible. As human beings, we have a limit. We can only give so much. So people need to know what their priorities are, so that at the top of the list, you know that I'm going to give my best in this and not in everything. There's a way that many people use. It's that they write down what is important, what are their priorities. So maybe if it's 25 priorities, you write everything down, and then from there they
But
check.
25 are not priorities.
Yes. So from there, that's yes. So what happens after is that they have to choose the top 5. What is it that they really need to do now, like the top 5, and then from the top 5 they choose one. So because they know a lot of people say they have a lot of priorities, so maybe that 25 in my, like, top of my head, I can say, okay, I need to do these 25 things, they are my priority, but not all of them are a priority. So that's why you need to write them down, then select the top 5. Then from the top 5, you select the most important one, and that's where you're going to give all of your energy to. But because we don't know how to define priorities, we think that everything is a priority, and we think that everyone as well is a priority. So we give ourselves to everyone, and we ask ourselves, why is everyone demanding from me? But it's because, as you said, I'm the one who's giving myself out to everyone because I don't know how to prioritize, and I don't know who to prioritize.
And I think that women today, they crave to be recognized as hands-on.
Yeah, I think this burnout is because as well this to-do list is too long.
Mhm.
So how I'm going to make it 25 things that we need to
No,
do
that
in
is not a
24
priority
hours.
list.
In 24 hours that we have a day, that of course you need to separate a time for you to sleep and to rest. So they have this to-do list, and the person who has this burnout, they are never up to date with their list because the list is too long, because they want to do everything at once, and that is going to really drain their strength, their energy, and they will not have anything else to give because they are focused on this huge to-do list that will never be accomplished.
And another thing is they want to prove a point. They are, I would say, all over the place because they want to prove a point, maybe to the family, to the parents. They want to study, work, do so many things, and sometimes even choose to do things they don't necessarily need. They could wait a bit for that, but because they want to prove a point, they want to prove that I can make it, I can be different, I can, you know what, is in a way, we see many women trying to be like a superwoman. They want to do so many things, and of course, other things will be neglected. We have been there before, and we know that one thing will be neglected, and that is where frustration comes back, and that is where this feeling sometimes at the end of the day there is no fulfillment. They don't feel fulfilled, even though they did, as they were talking about the to-do list, they have such a big list, they have so many things to do, but at the end of the day, when they stop the day, when they are alone with themselves, they are unhappy, they are disappointed, even with themselves. And Tammy was talking about the demanding, people are demanding so much of me, but in most of the cases, is the person demanding from herself, either because of someone else or because, as Pressure was saying as well, because of comparison. So you see that it drags and compromise all other areas of someone's life.
What triggered that behavior? Because women in the past, they were not like that. They didn't need to be on top of the list. They didn't need to conquer all that. They were in peace with their role, even though since the industrial area, they had to go and work out to help their husbands with the budget, but they were not pushed into this frenzy of trying to do everything.
Women in nowadays, they need to work, they need to be mothers, they need to actually
First, they need to get married. Please.
They need
to become a mother. Then they need to take care of the house.
No, but that's the point. Because they wanted to do everything, what we see the most is that the orders are inverted. They are first having babies, then I need to find a father for this child.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we're being very honest.
Yeah. So they need to be on top of everything. They need to study, they need to get a promotion, and they can never say, I cannot make it. They need to really be like the superwoman that I can do everything. And in this way, how they don't have time for themselves. And they get so easily irritated. Who never did that happen? When you just something, you broke a cup and you were there.
It also
crying.
coming with confessions today.
I remember once something just happened, and then I was there. My goodness, how this happened? It was not supposed to be like this. And my husband came, Silmara, it's just something simple. Let us fix it. No, but and then after I look to myself and say, oops, I think I'm just being too much.
Burnt out.
Yeah, burned out because you don't have time for yourself. Then you end up affecting everyone around you. That is another point. The mothers that are listening to us now, maybe their children are being affected because the child comes with a simple drawing and say, Mom, look, no, I don't have time for you now. They are so focused on being the superwoman, but they are lacking in other areas. They are not being able to give attention, to leave their smartphone aside and sit down and have a conversation with a child, to leave behind something that they were supposed, okay, you want to improve in your career, but do you really need to get this extra step now that you just had a baby and you still have to give a lot of attention to this baby? So you just had a child, now you want to just make
3 months
something
old,
else.
let me put the baby in daycare center because I need to go back. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose this promotion, or I need to start doing my bachelor, my this and that.
And not forgetting that by doing all of that, they need to be in shape as well. They need to look perfect. Like even 3 months after giving birth, they need to get their body back. We see so many challenges on social media saying that, oh, I gave birth just yesterday, but my body is back. Oh, my body, thank you so much for being so loyal to me. So imagine having to do all of that, being like Wonder Woman, saving the whole world.
And forgetting she needs to nourish this newborn baby who depends on breastfeeding.
So doing all of that, of course, it's going to cause burnout, because when are you going to have time to sleep? You need to work. You need to go to the gym. You need to meet friends. You need to have time for the child, the family. You need to have time for everything. And as Samara said, we only have 24 hours. So within that 25 priorities that you need to do, it means how are you going to divide it and still look good doing it as well, and posting on social media as well? It's definitely going to cause burnout.
And I was thinking of post-pandemic, that now there is now the new edition that a lot of people had. Without them seeing, they were given the liberty to be home now with their families, to work from home. But no, not women. The woman of 2021, she's like, I will add a side hustle on top of this. Side hustle is when they now look for something else to do. It can be an extra business or something to bring in extra income. But my question always is, do they really need that extra income? Because sometimes they don't. They live comfortable lives that are good. But because she has that need of being Wonder Woman, and when we're sitting as a group of women, I want to up Silmara. So Silmara will say, no, I'm a mom. I work at home. I cook. I clean. And I'm like, I cook, I clean. I have a business. I have, I don't know, some company. And I'm also an influencer, because we see many of them wanting to be influencers, but not realizing the work that goes into that, because you really need to give up a few things in your life. So you want the popularity. As Tammy was speaking of the snapback body, I'm thinking of now, if she gives birth today and 3 months down the line, she wants to be what she was, and even
It took
better
9 months for her to
get there. So
Mhm.
they're going already against the cause of nature, and that naturally will make you burn out, because then it means you're going to live in the gym because then in order for you to get back, you have to be exercising. You hear people that say, I exercise. I heard someone that says, I exercise 40 hours a week. And when I heard 40 hours a week, like for a second, I got dumb and I forgot how many hours were there in a day, because I was like, 40 hours. So how long do you stay there? No, I go in the morning, lunchtime, and then I go in the evening. But I was wondering then, where does your family fit in at that moment? And a lot of our moms like to complain and say, my kids are unappreciative of everything I get them. That child is not looking for the goods or the materialistic things. That's why nowadays, if they are not watchful, especially they can make this exercise, those that have nannies at home or like people that take care of their kids, watch how your child naturally tends to be closer to the other person than you. It's not because that woman is better than you, but she gives that time
She's
to
there
listen,
for
to
the
hear that
child.
child. And then you get home and you feel bad. And now because you want to be super mom on top of that, then you think, oh no, I'm failing as a mom. So let me buy more. Let me give him more and do this. And the child will just look at you. If you sit down and be honest with you, they'll just tell you like, all I need is my mom here. Because as Seal was saying, naturally, if you're doing all these things, you are going to be irritable. So that child, I'm imagining when the child brings the drawing and maybe you can't really see what it is because they're not Picassos. And then the child's like, no, I drew you and daddy and me. And then she's irritated at that moment. She discourages the child and says, oh, no, that's not nice. Like, throw it away. But in the past, because the moms didn't wear themselves out, they would even put our ugly pictures like on the fridge, on display, just to encourage that child. But because they're getting burnt out, that's why we're seeing a lot of pain, sadness, and I'm sorry to say this, but sometimes it even adds on to the kids being depressed and being suicidal because they feel like the people that are supposed to know them don't know them, but their mom is not doing it intentionally. She's just burnt out.
Just to prove a point, how many topics we brought up here, especially including the trends that go out there for the teens and for the youth. And you were so surprised and flabbergasted. And you wonder, how do these ladies know about it? Guess what? We get that information from the children, from the youngsters in the church, and they are your kids. And you might even wonder, I didn't know it was happening. And that shows that there is a distance, because they are trying to convey that message. They are trying to share the challenges in their day. And of course, you might be very busy trying to provide, trying to keep the house in order, trying to attend to every need, but it might be lacking a little bit of attention to them. And when you try to force yourself into the extra work of maybe putting a little bit more time to give attention to them, immediately you feel burnout.
And as they were all talking, I was thinking, because then it goes back to her, to the women. Because at the end of the day, she says, I heard women saying, my children doesn't love me, or my husband's no longer loving me. But in a matter of fact, as you were saying there, they are not giving love to the family. They are not taking that time. You see, we should live one day at a time. So at that moment when they arrived home, that they were supposed to sit with the children, to talk, to check how was school and everything, they are busy. No, I drop you home and then I have to run to the gym. As some said, I have to be a fit mom, or I have to do this. And also with the youth, the young generation that we see happening, the other way around. They say, my parents doesn't love me, or other people doesn't love me, and they crave that love, trying to use social media, trying to be an influencer in social media, because they are seeking for love. They want that, but they are not giving that love. They are not making time for the family, because it's very easy to blame the other, to say, oh, they are not loving me, they are not doing this. But the matter of fact is, we cannot change anyone. We have to change ourselves. So if I see there is a problem here, what is the problem with me? My children is having problems. Okay, what is happening here? Where am I not feeding this gap that I couldn't see this, to try to help my children? And in most cases, is lack of attention, care, and appreciation.
When we speak about being burnt out, we are not speaking about something we read, because I think here among 5 of us, 3 of us, Amanda, Silmar, and I, we have experienced that. We have lived that in our lives. And one point was clear. At the moment we almost came at the verge of burning out, being pastors' wives, it was the moment that we were trying to carry the world on our own arms, trying to do everything right. And the more we tried, more wrong we went on the way. And on that, now making the recon of everything we lived and the moments that we lost patience with our husbands, we felt so frustrated, so desperate. We would look at the mirror and we would try and say, I don't know what's happening with myself anymore. One thing I realized, when we had to choose about where to sacrifice, we would sacrifice, first of all, ourselves, and immediately, second or sometimes first, our time with God. We would not prioritize the things of God. We would try to do everything to accommodate everyone's needs. We would try to cater for everyone. We would feel very frustrated with ourselves. It was the moment that I would feel I was a failure, that I was failing my husband, I was failing the church, I was failing my friends. But I came to realize later on, I was actually failing myself and God, because I was not understanding that if God has given us 24 hours in a day, it's because we can do what is needed within those 24 hours, is still resting. And many times I went throughout the night working, and I would sleep 2 hours a day. And of course, I would experience that no one appreciates, no one recognizes. And somehow we women, we have a way to express ourselves that men don't get it. We try to say something. We try to show what we're going through. We have tantrums, we cry. And the only thing they needed is that we would speak. So I tried to make people to see what I was going through, without any success, because people could not read my signs, my encrypted message, my tantrums, and I was failing myself and failing God. So serious this is. So we're talking to you because I'm sure among our audience, we are going to find those who are living exactly that. And I wanted to highlight one point. When did it all started? Who was the one who put on your shoulders that heavy load of studying, working, exceeding in your studies, coming to church, serving, evangelizing, still going back home, trying to take care of your house, of your clothes, if you married, trying to look after your husband, but you also wanted to come to church every day. You want to serve in every service. You want to participate of every special meeting. And on Saturday morning, you want to evangelize. And don't forget about your friends, because you need to socialize. You need to go on lunch-ons. You need to participate of events at your workplace. You are the one who is bringing all that upon your shoulders and getting frustrated.
Yes. And as you were talking, it just reminded me when I was still single.
Another burnout.
Another burnout. When I was still single, because as I was saying, it's easy to say, oh, my family doesn't care for me, they don't love me. But when I look back and I reflect, I was studying, going early to school, and then I was doing internship in the afternoon, and then after I would go straight to church, and I want to be in the church every day, and every time, like,
how about Saturday?
Yeah, church, Sunday church. You see,
holiday,
all in the church. I want to be in the church. I want to, and I have to study, and I have to do the internship because I was about to finish it, and I want to do so many things. And at the end of the day, oh, my family, my mother doesn't love me, or my family, I have no, you see, no family environment, no support from my family. But the truth was, I was not making time for them. I was not having balance. I was missing that balance, because it all goes with wherever there is an extreme, there is a problem. So God brings us to balance, but when it's missing that balance, then there will be problems. And even as Ms. Marcel was saying, spiritually as well, because we end up compromise sometimes our communion with God. We got engaged in so many activities. There is this project of the YPG, and then we have to rehearsal for this, and we have to prepare for that, and then we're going to that region, and we're going to do this. We get so busy with the doings and want to be involved in everything that we neglect the most important thing, that is our communion with God. I remember even times where I would attend the service, because if you don't attend that service, you cannot be part of that project of the YPG. Then I would attend that service because I want to be part of that project. But then when the service finished, if the pastor would come and ask, what did I preach? I wouldn't remember, because my mind was not there. It was everywhere else, thinking of everything else instead of having that balance of stop. Now is my moment here. I have to concentrate. You see, but many they get carried away with that.
And deceived, because at the end of the day, you think you are doing well with God. And you are just doing, but you don't have the principles of God in your life. Otherwise, you would identify that somehow you're going wrong. Just after our break, we are going to tell you how to get out of it, because to explore the problem, we did. Probably we identified, but you have the question, what do I do now? We have your answer just after the break. We spoke about how to get out. What would you say?
I would say put away your devices and be present.
And learn to say no when it needs to.
When does it need?
For example,
When it's needed, sorry.
I was thinking in the church, sometimes the pastor is asking, who would like to help in this area? And the person is always that, me. So there are times she doesn't need to volunteer herself, or there are times that the pastor can come or another assistant and say, can you come tomorrow? I'm sorry, tomorrow I have something, I cannot come. That is fine. There are people, they say, no, I can never say no, because what they are going to think about me if I
That you're a
say
human
no.
being.
Yeah, if I say no, what they are going to think about me? So it's okay. Sometimes we need to say no. Of course, in a good way, polite, you are going to explain your reasons, but it's a no.
As well as what is important to you. I spoke in the first part about misdirected priorities. Now people need to redefine their priorities. What is important? Are you important, or are the things, the futile things that you're trying to achieve, important? Once you have that really well defined, then you will know exactly which priorities to go for. A lot of people, they spend their whole life trying to make a living, and at the end of their life, they cannot enjoy everything that they worked so hard for because they were not able to prioritize themselves. So you need to ask yourself, what is important? Yes, you need the car, you need the house, you need everything, but how are you going to enjoy it if you yourself, you are not okay, you are burnt out, you are not mentally okay? So you need to redefine your priorities properly.
And also to have breaks during work. You see, have time for yourself during, there is working breaks, coffee break, tea break. Even in school, those who go to school, in the school, there is a time, there is a break in school for them to eat, for them to have some time. So don't just work like a workaholic, but have time for yourself. Have those breaks that will help you to regain that energy, the strength, and continue doing what you need to do.
What did you do to have those breaks?
Well,
From someone who was an workaholic, burnt out, to someone who found stability.
Well, I have to, you mean in terms of the break?
Yeah.
Which breaks? There was moments that I would break, I would leave the office, I would walk, I would go to have some coffee. And you see, and of course, the base of that, God helped us, né? God helped me to find that balance. But I had to look into myself and realize that I need to have a time for myself. I need to give myself a break, because I am not Mrs. Perfect. I am not Wonder Woman. I am a human being. So when we understand that, we start adjusting where it needs to be adjusted.
We gave you 4 tips on how to get out from becoming one more statistics on burning out or burnout. But I wanted to share with you God's way out. And that is the way we learned and we really overcame that side of us. We are going to read together Matthew 11:28. But let me tell you something. More often, those who go through burnouts are because they are self-reliant. They trust more in what they can do, in what they can achieve, rather than really trusting God. They don't share tasks. They don't think that other people are able to do what they do. They need to do everything and everything alone. And in that, they are showing lack of trust in God. So Matthew 11:28 says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." When we think that we have to carry the world on our shoulders, that only us can take care of things, can do everything, to compare ourselves with others, we train ourselves to faint and provide and take care and resolve. And by doing so, in other words, we are disregarding God. We're trusting more in our ability to do more and more and more and conquer more and provide for this family, that we forget that God is the only way that we can find the stability we can find balance. He invites, come to me, all of you who are heavy laden, all of you who are at the verge of burning out, at the verge of quitting, you feeling body pains, you are anxious, you are worried about the future, you are worried about everything, and you are not giving God the chance to take care of your life. In this verse, he finishes saying, and I will give you rest. I will teach you what you need to do. I will help you to prioritize. I will help you to say no. I will help you to put your busy life aside. Have time with me first. Seek first my kingdom, and I will direct you. I will give you rest. For those of you who see yourselves working throughout, serving in the church, but totally destroyed inside, God wants to be your rest. He wants to be this break that you need to give yourself. And we want to pray for you, specifically for you, who didn't realize before you were about to have this burnout, or you are already leaving the depression, the oppression, this withdrawal from your family, from people. You are living in desperation. God today will touch in your mind, will give you a new direction, and will bring rest upon your soul. So Amanda will pray for us today, and I invite you to close your eyes.
My Lord and my Father, we are so grateful for this program of today, because I'm sure you have spoken to so many women out there that are going through this burnout. And today, right now, they have realized it because you are the one pointing it out to them. You are the one showing to them the same way, my Lord, you did with us. We allowed you to help us, because right now this lady is doing the same. She's surrendering it right now to you. She's realizing it, and she's taking the decision to change what needs to be changed. Realized that she's not irreplaceable, but she needs you more than anything, because through you she can conquer everything, but she needs to depend on you, my Father. So I pray right now that you give her the strength. Maybe she has been far away from you because of so much doing, because of so much responsibility, and have been neglecting the most precious things, that is your presence, that's the communion with you. But right now she's turning back to you, my Father, because you are the one who help us each and every day. Your mercy is renewed every day upon our lives, because you know we depend on you. So right now, my Lord, I give their lives in your hands, because I am sure you start work from inside of them, and they will change in the same way we have been changing and being transformed. In Jesus' name, amen.
Receive rest from God now.
Welcome to the Symmetry of Big Dreams. Hereby lies the greatest and smallest of cancel victims. The employee of the month. She shouldn't have posted on that post. Now she's unemployed this month. Oh, her? That influencer. She wore the wrong color on a Monday. You know, hashtag red must fall. Hashtag cancel. Hashtag cancel dreams. Hashtag destroy hopes. Silent voices. Cancel their opinion. You're canceled. Welcome to the world of cancel culture. But don't worry, we are not canceled. We're still here. Hashtag this Friday. Hashtag 3 p.m.
See you next week, 3 p.m. sharp, back with Woman to Woman. God bless you all. Until then, bye-bye.
So how's the coffee?
You didn't put enough sugar here, so it's not that nice.
Well, I don't want to kill you with giving you 5 sachets of sugar.
Yeah, I asked for 6, you put 5.
Oh, well,
So
anyway,
that's why it's not nice.
I'm so excited for season 3. Can you believe we're on season 3 already?
I can't wait. I remember season 1, season 2, and now we're going to season 3.
And season 2 was saucy. Like, oh
there
my
was
word.
just too much sauce there.
Like, it was dripping. Hey, Divi. Guess what?
What?
Today was the last recording of season 2.
Okay, that should have been exciting.
Yes,
Yeah, it was. We had Miss Amanda here.
Oh, okay.
All the way from Botswana. Yeah.
So what's next?
Season 3.
3.
Already?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't remember us having any flashback of anything regarding season 2.
Do we need a flashback?
Of course. Flashback Friday.
Oh, that's a new one. Instead of Throwback Thursday, so we have Flashback Friday. Okay, I see.
Are we canceling Throwback Thursday?
Yeah, I think Flashback Friday is just more.
Yeah, so it's Flashback Friday, woman to woman style.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. I remember, by the way, with Dumelo, I wanted to tell you this. Remember that show that we had of the laid back? And then you said all those things. I didn't know that he had issues like with laid back people.
I find it difficult. Like, I find that laid back people cannot be trusted because I find them also irresponsible, because if the deadline is at 5 and they are okay with 5:30, them finishing at 5:30, then I can't trust that the work will be done.
By the way, you really hurt me. Like, I was hurt, but I'm over it now. I just wanted to let you know that you hurt me when you said that.
I'm so sorry, friend. I really am. But I think really we all learned something from each other, because I agree to you that really there's no need to be popping veins, stressed out because of deadline. But you have to agree, if you're not really, working towards a deadline, you're so laid back about a deadline coming in, you didn't seem to be worried. You kept saying, no, we will do it.
Yeah.
It didn't really instill confidence in anybody that you're going to.
Yeah, no. We've changed a lot.
I think the most amazing thing about the flashback will be that they won't only get this because, believe it or not, Beke, we were delivering topics. So when they tune in for the Flashback Friday, they'll get to know what really happened, what went down in season 2, the highs, the lows, Tammy's waterworks now and then.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not the only one who almost cried during the show. I think you almost cried, but you held it back. I was just, because it does get real. I think people have to know that when we are here on the show, we talk about things that happened to us, and some of the things we are still going through. So it does get real. So that's why I almost cried a couple of times. I won't mention how many, but it was real. But I think that's how we connect with them, by the way, when we are open with our own lives and our own experiences.
Yeah. This couch is like a truth serum. You come here thinking, I'm just going to talk about this particular thing. And then once you're here...
And then all of a sudden it's like, what happened? Why am I crying?
But another exciting feature on season 3 is that we're finally going to have a slogan. So we had an extension, actually. Remember, it was just actually supposed to be like a short period. But now, because of the amazing number of entries we have, you can also actually still send in yours, and we're all going to vote. So come on, ladies, let's get creative. Let's hear what you think should be after the woman to woman.
So I guess the only thing left really is for us to go back into this Flashback Friday and actually see what happened, what we learned, because I'm sure everybody took something for themselves. So here you go.
Hi everyone, in case you haven't heard, the Woman to Woman Season 3 is almost here.
We want to kick it off with a bang. We need your help. We are giving you an opportunity to create the perfect slogan for woman to woman,
based on the topics that have impacted your life.
What Woman to Woman is all about.
It should be exciting, creative, feminine, and godly.
Now, you can upload your slogan suggestions on our WhatsApp number on
063 471 6997.
We will officially open for votes for our top 10 slogans on our official Telegram channel,
universal/ RSA official.
The one that got the most votes will be our official slogan for the woman to woman.
So get creative, it could be you.